next? We've got Time Walk Magic Hero 4 in round number 2. Let's take a look. Anthony Eason on the left-hand side of your screen playing a deck that's actually been doing pretty well lately in Modern. Jeskai Control against a deck that hasn't, actually. Scapeshift is a deck that throughout Modern's history has waxed and waned as far as how popular and how good it's been, but it's been on a bit of a downswing lately.
Yeah, so Scapeshift is generally good against some of the mid-range fair decks, I guess, like decks that have, you call Jund or Abzan. It generally has a way of overpowering those matchups. Against the true control decks, I think it's a little bit of a game of cat and mouse. In general, I would say I'd rather be on the control deck side because there's only a few key spells to counter. But it is still, there's a game there.
By the way, Jeffrey's got a sweet new unstable mountain there.
It's true.
Although maybe you were right about what you said before. It does look a little weird next to the frame, doesn't it?
They do look a little weird. I mean,
you said you like them on their own. They look gorgeous,
right?
But you said that you thought they clashed a little with the frame and the.
Yeah, I think. Especially when you have modern frames where you have some old cards, some new cards, and then you have these land. The lack of the black border kind of makes them look like they don't fit quite as aesthetically pleasing. That being said, if you see them by themselves, they look great.
I'm still a fan. I'm still in on him. Yeah, another one.
It does make it easier to count how many mountains he has.
Indeed. Search for Tomorrow resolving here on Jeff's upkeep. Just came off of suspend. And to be honest, this is a pretty dreamy start here for Scapeshift, right? He went turn 1, Suspend Search, turn 2, Sakura Tribe Elder, turn 3, that thing's resolved. And he's doing this into Anthony Eason, who has so far played basically 2 tap lands and a Serum Visions.
Yeah,
here's a Farseek as well.
He's getting so far ahead of mana, and he's Anthony Eason in game 1 has a lot of spells that are not particularly good. There's a lot of burn spells. There's a lot of slower threats. It's very possible that Anthony Eason doesn't actually have anything up that's relevant until 4 mana when he has Cryptic Command. Well, look at this. Jeffrey is at 5 mana, or can be at 5 mana if he sacks the Sakura Tribe Elder before Anthony gets to 3. Jeffrey has a Lightning Bolt and I think it's a Scapeshift in his hand. So not the... Scapeshift is obviously good here, but I think he has to wait till Anthony taps out. Now, if you cast Scapeshift with 7 mana out, it will generally be lethal. So bringing in Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, and a bunch of other mountains, two Valakuts.
By the way, chat noticed that Jeff, it looks like he ended up getting a mountain off of Verdant Catacombs, and then getting another mountain off of Search for Tomorrow. But as chat has also recognized, and I'll remind you at home, this is Time Walk. This was recorded just previously. This isn't, this is this round's match. It's just not live, and therefore we can't, say anything. So, onward.
Yeah. Sometimes, in some of these games, it's just, easy to actually just make small kind of technical errors there.
By the way, I'm loving this. Jeff has the sick new unstable full art lands, including the forest. This is unbelievable. I love the Beta Lightning Bolt. And that was the game.
That was this game.
Yeah, because how it goes is that they basically just are looking to increase their land count as quickly as possible, and Jeff had it all. Yeah. Farseek, Search for Tomorrow, Sakura Tribe Elder, he was just getting land after land, and then they just need that window once they get to critical mass 7 or 8, depending on what your life total is, to resolve Scapeshift, and the game's over, and the window was open, and he said, I'll do that.
Yeah, and he just tapped out casting that Electrolyze, and that was the gap. It's very possible that he should have just waited on mana, because it's unlikely Jeffrey will actually cast
He'd just run it out.
Scapeshift into open mana. That being said, there's actually not that many counters in Jeskai Control. Has cards like Remand, which is not really a great permanent answer for Scapeshift,
right.
And Cryptic Command. So if Jeffrey was generally, generally knew about the builds of the Jeskai control decks, he would probably know to actually cast Scapeshift into 3 mana or less.
Another great start here for the Scapeshift player, Jeffrey Day.
Yep.
He's got the Search for Tomorrow going. He's got Circuit Tribe Elder. Things are working for him.
First and Search for Tomorrow really, really changes how well the Scapeshift deck does. Playing a bunch of games of Magic Online, the games that they play Search versus the games they don't play Search, there's a huge, huge difference. It's, it's basically an extra, you get to play an extra spell in the first few turns, and that's a huge, huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah, because as anybody who's been playing Magic for a long time knows, you're not getting mana ramp spells for 1 mana that are like this, right? That are hard to interact with. Sure, you can have an elf, but those get bolted. Those get electrolyzed, right? You can have like a Utopia Sprawl or that type of card, but you need specific lands and the right colors at the right time to make it work. Here, it's just like 1 mana.
Yep.
And it's even better than Rampant Growth, too, because the land comes in untapped.
It's the Attune of Aether of Modern.
Look at you. It is indeed. Look at this, though. Secure Tribe Elder getting frisky. And you might think, whatever, it's just a point of damage. It actually matters, right?
Yeah.
When you're talking about dealing damage in chunks of 3s, the difference between 19, where Anthony's at right now, and 18 is huge. It's another land.
No, absolutely. And a lot of times the Scapeshift, like in-game versus control decks, just comes to playing a Valakut naturally and just bolting them with the land. And so any amount of like chip shots that you got in with like Elders or other cards like that really, really matter.
Oh, it looks like our players are just getting called over to the feature match area and seated here, which means we're going to speed things up a little bit. We don't love doing this, but it's better than having to just cut it off if we can fit this in. So you're going to see that the players look like they're getting a little too much coffee in them. It's actually on us. We speed up our time walk match when we need to fit it in. And that is certainly the case here, as Jeffrey Day, with a very quick and decisive game 1, is looking like he's marching towards that again here, though now Ethan is leaving his shields up a little more.
Yeah, I mean, he has Cryptic Command mana up. He knows that he basically has to leave that up. But it looks like he actually doesn't have the Cryptic Command. As far as I can tell in his hand.
He's just repping it?
Yep.
Well, this is not necessarily the turn that Jeffrey could go off, though with this, it signals that he might actually be having that intention. He's going to crack the Secure Tribe Elder here, and he has Anthony at 18. Yes, now he can. And he's just going to go for it.
Oh, Disdainful Stroke.
Okay, so Disdainful Stroke's going to counter it, and then Anthony looks like he just fired off a Lightning Bolt. Anthony's deck does look like it is set up in that kind of snap bolt, snap bolt, that kind of stuff to finish off the game. He's got the Lightning Bolts, of course, times 4. Times 3, but he also has 3 Lightning Helix as well, and 2 Electrolyze.
Wow. He actually got an uncontested Primal Titan.
Well,
this is really, really hard.
That was fun.
Yep.
This has been a very good showing on exactly how to win with Scapeshift. First, just with Scapeshift. If that doesn't work, play Primeval Titan. It's like half a Scapeshift, and you just get to do it every turn. And oh, by the way, it hits for 6.
And he played a Wooded Foothill, so that actually is 6 damage. Just
wow.
On the board.
That was pure desperation there for Anthony Eason, but he actually ripped the Path to Exile off of the Electrolyze.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So sometimes your desperation play actually works. But anybody who's played against Scapeshift knows that Anthony is far from out of the woods, as he's going to take 6 damage from that Path to Exile, most likely, assuming there's enough mountains on the battlefield, and there are.
Oh, Mon Vuliasimas.
All right, sure. That's going to get him yet another land, and he can go get a forest, but it's also a stomping ground, which is also a mountain, and there's Path, and he just shows him the rest of his hand and says, "You're dead." That's going to do it for Time Walk here in round number 2. We'll be back with live Magic right after these messages.